She didn't just show up for her husband. She showed up despite everything. And that one moment, one quiet, unexpected moment, said more than any headline ever could. But let's back up. Because to understand what happened, you need to understand what was already brewing long before that Vogue cover ever dropped. Hailey Bieber had waited for this. Like, really waited. A Vogue cover isn't just a magazine feature, it's a coronation. It's the fashion world standing up and saying, "You matter. You belong here." For someone who had spent years being measured against someone else's shadow, this was supposed to be her moment. Finally. Undeniably. Hers. The photos were stunning. The styling was sharp. The interview was personal. Hailey opened up about her life, her marriage, her identity, things she rarely talked about. She was vulnerable. She was poised. She was ready to let the world see her on her own terms. And then Justin happened. Not in a dramatic, explosive way. Not in a way anyone could have predicted or prepared for. But in the most Justin Bieber way possible, he posted something online that completely pulled the spotlight off his wife and onto himself. Now, what exactly did he post? That's where it gets complicated and honestly kind of painful to watch unfold. Justin, in his own world, shared something deeply personal. Some people called it raw. Some called it erratic. Some just called it bad timing. But whatever you want to label it, the internet didn't split its attention. It redirected it. Entirely. Suddenly, instead of people talking about Hailey's Vogue moment, they were talking about Justin. His mental state. His behavior. His history. Comment sections that should have been filled with "Hailey looks incredible" turned into debates about Justin's well-being. Articles that should have been celebrating her were pivoting to talk about him. The headlines that were supposed to belong to Hailey? Gone. Swallowed whole by the chaos that tends to follow wherever Justin goes. And here's what made it sting even more. This wasn't the first time. Hailey has lived in the shadow of Justin's story for years. She married someone who came with an entire universe of baggage, a massive fan base that was fiercely loyal, a very public past, and an ex-girlfriend whose name alone could derail any conversation about Hailey no matter what she did. She couldn't post a photo, give an interview, or step onto a red carpet without someone making it about someone else. She had built a brand. She had built a career. Rhode, her skincare line, was genuinely taking off. She was carving out her own lane, slowly, stubbornly, on her own terms. This Vogue cover felt like proof that it was working. That she was more than a footnote in someone else's love story. And then, in one post, that moment was taken from her. Now, pause. Because this is where it gets even more interesting. Selena Gomez saw it. And she did something nobody expected. Let's be clear about something first. Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber have one of the most complicated non-relationships in pop culture. They've never been friends. The internet has spent years pitting them against each other. Fans on both sides have said horrible things. There have been accusations, subtweets, drama cycles that never seem to end. The whole situation had become this exhausting, never-ending internet war where people picked sides like it was a sport. So when the noise around Justin's post started drowning out Hailey's Vogue moment, everyone braced for more drama. More fire. More fuel thrown onto a fire that was already burning way too hot. What they didn't expect was for Selena to pour water on it instead. She stepped in not aggressively, not to score points, not to remind anyone of the history. She stepped in quietly, gracefully, in the way that only someone who's genuinely over it can. She acknowledged the moment. She gave Hailey her flowers. Not because she had to, not because anyone asked her to, but because somewhere underneath all that internet noise, there was a woman whose moment was being stolen, and Selena chose kindness over chaos. And the internet stopped. It was about what we choose to do when we have power over someone else's moment. It was about recognizing pain, even in someone you have every reason not to protect. It was about the quiet, unglamorous, deeply underrated act of just being kind. Hailey's Vogue cover will be remembered. But honestly, it might be remembered less for the stunning photos and more for this, the unexpected, complicated, genuinely moving moment that surrounded it. And maybe that's okay. Because sometimes the story behind the story is the one that actually matters.